So I'm going to schedule a library instruction session that came in through my email. Notice that I do have a separate folder for library instruction requests. So I don't know if you've done this, but that's a good idea too. I'm going to select the next one that came in order, copy the body of the request, and I can see her original request is for June 10th with an alternate date of June 11th, 8:30 a.m. Now I have my calendar, or I should say I have the reference calendar open in a separate window so that I can go back and forth between the email and the calendar. So this is the reference calendar. It's very important to make sure that that's the calendar that you're on. Up at the top it should say that, and obviously it has all the reference shifts put in. I'm going to go to June 10th, which was her original request date, 8:30 a.m. I see that that's no problem. So let me just bring my screen up so we can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to click New Appointment, and the first thing I'm going to do is paste the request into the body of the appointment so that I have all of the information I need. I'm going to delete the alternate date because we are using the original date here, so I cut that. Make sure it's for June 10th. Now, if I look at the date here, I see that because I didn't select the day, it actually put it on Sunday. So I want to make sure that I change that to Monday. And we're going to change the time to 8:30 a.m. And you should have your little schedule that Alex made up for you. So classes that begin at 8:30 go until 9:50 a.m. We want 80 minutes of instruction. And now I'm going to put in the subject. And they should always be in all caps. So that's not correct. ILI / the class, which you're going to find here. Now, for some reason, she's selected other for her level of instruction, but I know the department is from English. And looking at this, I can tell which class that this is going to be for. This is for an English 2. But in the case that you cannot tell what class it is for, the tool that you can use to figure that out is the course schedules, which are accessible from the from the college webpage. So I always keep that open. I actually do have it open here in one of my tabs. To get to it, you can go to the RVCC homepage. If you go under current students, because apparently it's not listed under faculty, you'll see course schedules here, or obviously in the A to Z directory it should be listed. Academic classes, whichever semester we're in, so we're in summer right now, and then you just search for the instructor's name. So that was Lynn DeSico, and it was for her class beginning at, I'm going to go back and look at the appointment just to check, 8:30 a.m. So if I'm looking at the class schedules, I see that she requested 8:30. There's no class that starts at 8:30, but it must be one of these classes that starts at 8 o'clock a.m. And if you look over here, you're going to see that she's teaching one of these classes in summer 1 and one of these in summer 2. So obviously the one that she just put in for is going to be for summer 1. And she's requesting to start at 8:30, so that's what we're going to put into the calendar request. And the instruction would still go until 9:50. So we know this is now an English 2. It's for Lynn DeSico, and that's all you need in the title. I will go in and fill in the instructor name, and we'll talk about what to do when I'm not here for July and August. So that's basically all you need to do. Save and close. You should see it appear here on the calendar on the date that it was requested for. Go back to the original email, reply to it, and we're going to paste in the standard text for a confirmation email. Okay, so in another window, I have open the Word document that has the text for the confirmations. Throughout June, you're going to use the same text that we would use during the regular semester. So that's the top one listed here. It has all of the information. Copy. I'm going to go back to the window that has my reply email. So I can see here, this is my email to Lynn DeSico replying. I'm going to paste this information in and then take the information from the request and put it in here. And actually, the better thing to do is take the information from the calendar appointment you just created, not from the text down here. So scratch what I just said. Take all of this information from the calendar appointment, because in your original request, you have 2 dates and you want to make sure that you put the correct one into the return email, and you don't have an end time, and there should be an end time in the information that you send to the instructor. So I can go back and take a look at the appointment I just created. The class is English 2. It's on Monday, June 10th, and it's from 8:30 a.m. to 9:50 a.m. So I go back to my email. The class is English 2. The date is Monday, June 10th, and make sure that you write the day in there, because they often don't pay any attention to what day of the week the date you've given them is. And the time is 8:30 a.m. to 9:50 a.m. So once you have all of that, you can go ahead and send. So we've got it on the calendar. We've sent a reply email. I go back to my original email and I'm going to mark it complete so that I know I have sent this request. So I'm going to go through the process one more time. This is another request from Lynn DeSico. I'm going to copy the information from the request. The original date she's requesting is also June 10th, but this time at 10:30. So I go to my calendar. I see 10:30 is available. Now, what I did not do the last time that I can also do is highlight 3 bars. So each bar is a half hour. Instruction is 80 minutes, which is 10 minutes less than 90 minutes. So we can do, I'm sorry, that sounds condescending, but it makes sense if you think about it this way. If you do 3 bars, that's going to be an hour and a half. We can go ahead and create a new appointment. Because I've highlighted these 3 half hours, when I create the appointment, it's going to automatically pop in 10:30 to 12 on Monday, June 10th, because those were the date, that was what I highlighted. I can right click to paste. I am scheduling this for the original date, so I'm going to cut the alternate date, and I need to change the end time because it put in for an hour and a half and I only need 80 minutes. So I just deduct 10 minutes, and now I've got 10:30 a.m. to 11:50. Make sure this is a.m. Now I go and put my title in, caps locks, ILI. Here we have level of instruction selected, and the course name she's telling me is Introduction to Literature. So I know that's what I want to put in here. You can abbreviate these. So Intro to Lit for DeSico. I've got my title, my date is correct, my times are correct. I have all of the information that she supplied. So I'm going to save this. I see it pop onto my calendar, and I'm good to go to send my confirmation email. So I go back to my email. This is her original request. I'm going to reply to this email. I'm going to go over to my Word document, copy the text for the email, go back to the email that I just started, paste this in, and referring to the calendar appointment that I created, I'm going to fill in all of this information. So I can go back and take a look. The class is Intro to Lit, 10:30 to 11:50 on Monday, June 10th. So I type in Introduction to Literature. Date is Monday, June 10th, and the time is 10:30 a.m. to 11:50 a.m. I'm sending this to Lynn. I've got everything figured out. Go ahead and send. So that's the basic process. There is a lot of going back and forth between the emails, the calendar, and the text that you need. So in terms of doing that, you'll have to figure out which way works best for you. But the process and the way the calendar appointment looks should be exactly as this one appears, with all caps, with everything filled in here. And then I will go in and put in the instructor, just as I have been doing this semester. The final step is going to be for a request that comes in with a document attached. So you'll know that because it has the little paper clip in the summary part over here, and you'll see the attachment up at the top of the screen. often they'll have left the assignment or comments section blank. There might be text in here as well, but you do want to watch for those because there's going to be an extra step when you're scheduling these. So the basic process is the same. I copy all of this. He's requesting June 3rd at 10:30 a.m. So I'm going to go to the reference calendar. I'm going to go to June 3rd, 10 a.m. Now there's a class that's already beginning here at 11 o'clock a.m. So what I need to do is go back and take a look at his original request. He's requesting 10:30, so that's not going to work because we have another class coming in at 11. So what I'm going to do instead is schedule the alternate date. So I go back to the calendar, I see on the alternate date that it is available. So he's requesting 10:30, that means it's going to go until 11:50. I can, again, highlight 3 bars here. Click for a new appointment. Paste everything in. Now, what I need to also do is paste in the assignment that he attached to the email. So I've got the text in here. I need to go back to that original email, click on the attachment, right-click on it, and select copy, just like you would if it was text. You can do this the exact same way. I go back to the calendar appointment that I'm creating, right-click in the body of the email, and paste. And it sticks the attachment right on here so that whoever looks at this can pull the attachment up. And then I follow everything else exactly the same. So I have ILI. This is for English 2. So I just type that in. For Bondus, 10:30, only going to be 80 minutes, not 90. So I need to change this to 11:50. Make this AM. Tuesday, June 4th. So I'm going to delete the original date from the request and make sure that I only have the alternate date put in here. Save and close. Reply to this original email. Go to my Word document, copy the text, go back to my reply email, paste this in, fill in all this information using what I put on the calendar. So Tuesday, June 4th, which is his alternate, 10:30 to 11:50, English 2. Go back here, I put in English 2. Now, because I'm using the alternate date, which was June 4th, Tuesday, I want to put your alternate date in parentheses. You want to make that very clear because if you don't put that information in there, they're not going to realize that they had their alternate date approved and they're going to show up on their original date. 10:30 to 11:50, and then I would go ahead and send this.